Well, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. A happy Easter Monday to you out there. It's a special Christian festival, shall we say. It's starting off from Friday, Good Friday, and today is Easter Monday. Good Friday was the horrible day. Some even call it a Black Friday because that was the day the Savior of the world willingly gave up his life for the sake of humanity. And so we continue that theme. But the difference now is that, of course, far be it from me to be preaching the word, but he is risen is the much that just about any Christian knows. And to share in that theme, that celebratory spirit of he is risen, he is alive, is Comrade Ayodele Adewale, APC Organizing Secretary, Lagos State Chapter. Comrade, happy Easter Monday to you.
Happy Easter, sir. Thank you for having me.
Indeed. I suppose that is the theme, the triumph of life over death. And there are so many analogies, I think, because these will be the president's kind of sentiment as well. So many analogies. Look, we've been in a bad place. And even as we are still in the ICU, intensive care unit as a nation, metaphorically speaking, in recent times and right up until today, you can't take today out of anything, we see that there is life. This country is not dead, is not going to die. And there's that sense, I would imagine, that's one of the ways to look at Easter. Of course, there's also the fact that what we're symbolizing, the Lord giving up his life for humanity, I don't know. One has to be very, very careful here, but I suppose Nigerians are called upon, especially those who would be leaders, to do precisely that. Maybe they can't go as far, of course, as the Lord, but it's a matter of not in there for yourself, but you must be in there because humanity to one side, this country needs to be saved. And only those who feel that urge that something has to be done about it. That's what I've been hearing from religious leaders, state leaders all over the country, that we need to get a lot more selfless in the way we go about our job of governing.
Well, thank you once again for having me, and I say happy Easter to all Nigerians.
Happy Easter.
Well, it's a state or a stage that will pass, definitely will pass. And one thing that gladdens my heart is that the economists have not said that Nigeria is in recession or in a dire state of recession. So that means that there is hope in the Nigerian society and for its economy. And looking at how things have started moving up for good, you can see that the exchange of the naira to various currency have started, the naira started getting more strength.
Yes.
And that presents that there is a light, very big light at the end of the tunnel. And governance or government itself, it's a partnership. Yes, you have the government, key players, key actors that are there. But if you look at most developed clime, it's not only the government structure that helped to develop the space. The government helped to lay the template, quite frankly, for development. But we've seen key players, especially the citizenry, who have taken it upon themselves to also create opportunities, not only for themselves, but again for everyone within their space. If you look at the American society and the Western society, you see that most people are not keenly interested in seeking political power, but they are mostly interested in gaining economic power. And that is why you see companies like Google, Amazon, Apple, and the rest, their GDP, you understand, some of them are put together. It's even bigger than what you have in Africa. So my take-home or my advice would be that government invest more in education and human capacity building, which again will strengthen all of its integral structure towards development.
Okay. You know, looking at the Easter theme, and especially today, when far from being dead, Christ has risen. When you take that concept, I want to go back again because, this is not a religious program. We can only liken it to our lives and what we are doing and what our leaders are doing. Part of that, just a few days ago, I heard the president, he was heard saying, stop bad-mouthing Nigeria. Stop cursing Nigeria. He's putting that advice out. People's frustration was showing. Now, that's one person. I'm not saying by any means that he's the only one. That's one person that believes in not just the life of this country, but that it is going to be better. There is plenty of life in this country yet, and he's doing everything that he can to show this. Never mind what he brings to the table, but believing so much in the entity called Nigeria that it is a viable concern. And even though I made allusions to the metaphoric ICU earlier, even though, we are still in intensive care, nobody, not even the worst opposition of this government, will say that there are no signs that, there is vitality, there is life. It just needs to be nurtured. Unlike the idea of Easter where it has come, he has risen, and he's here 110%, if that is possible. But we are seeing such positivity now from what is going on. I suppose the most visible one is the economy and the gains of the Naira. That's giving us a sort of an indication of what is yet to come. But there's no doubt about it that there's plenty of good left in the good old country.
Well, there's nothing wrong in using the term that you've used, ICU. The ICU is just a place for intensive care, specialized care, more attention. What is worse is when you go into comatose. That's one nobody want to see. And
we were almost there.
You understand? So that is why you have to go into a space of intensive care where more attention, specialized attention be paid to the Nigerian economy, security, and all whatnot. You have spoken from the angle of theology. Very good, very, very good, especially as it concerns the Christian, living Christly life and the essence of the death of Christ and the resurrection that give hope to us reconnecting back to the supreme being, which is God, and taking us to paradise, a place of comfort. The president talking that people should stop
cursing Nigeria, bad-mouthing Nigeria.
You must appreciate that Nigeria is a brand, right? Whoever that is cursing Nigeria and in turn also want to govern Nigeria, by the time you destroy the brand, you send out a negative vibe. Nobody will want to touch the brand. And when you, per adventure, get to govern, it will be very Herculean for you to rebrand what you have destroyed in order to attract the attention that is needed. And that attention, of course, is foreign investment, regardless of the local investment. But the foreign investment is needed more in order to gain those foreign currency and attention and partnership that is required. So rather than destroy the brand, you could focus on what is happening within the administration. If you feel that the way they are handling it is not in sync with the way you would have done it, then you bring out a workable solution, or you go into partnership. Look at Senegal and all of these countries. You understand? It's not about just crucifying the government, but give us workable solutions and show people that you are a team player and for the purpose of country. The country must come first. But by the time you destroy it, like war, by the time you destroy everything and you're coming back, you start from ground zero.
Well, it sort of keys into APC's, or is it the president's? In this instance, the two are the same, renewed hope agenda. That is both APC and Mr. President. from the very beginning, even before he came on, he was talking about renewed hope. What is Easter if it is not a renewal of hope, especially Easter Monday?
It is renewed every year.
Yes, and it is renewed every year. And, Tinubu has been very, very insistent on the idea of it can be salvaged. It will be salvaged. It must be salvaged. And with you guys out there, we can do it. So that unity and compassion that he's called upon the people, if only they would sort of, if only we would sort of see our way a bit beyond all the problems, which the president has admitted. He's not even blaming us. He's saying, I hear it, I see it, I know your pain. And then he did a very difficult thing. He counseled that, just a little more. He's not saying it's over. He's just a little more, because at the end of that, everybody shall smile. That's his idea. That's what he's carrying along. Understandably, he's asking Christians to emulate the sacrifices of the Lord Jesus Christ. Well, that is a lovely ideal. That is a lovely ideal. It's an, it is what it is. Who can attain that? Because he put down his own life for the sake of the rest of us. But the principle in their selflessness, I think that much we can grab hold of. If indeed there is a, I don't know, and I don't want to sound churchy or preachy, but that much, if we can begin to be less self-centered in serving, that's something that everybody has a right to look to the administration for. Say, okay, if you're asking that from us, let's see how selfless you guys are being in there. So we can bring this conversation around to the president. We've seen, we've heard, we know what he wants. How about those around him? Are they indeed queuing up to share in his vision and run with his vision? The president clearly, I don't know him personally, but I don't think he wants anything from anybody. He just wants to work. He just wants to serve. I would just like to believe that those fine men and women that he has chosen, they're all on the same page with him, and I like that, because that might be the beginning. That might be the beginning of helping the president and helping ourselves out of this situation.
In answering your last question with regards to the performance and selflessness of people around the president, if you remember, not too long ago, the president saddled more responsibilities and power on Ms. Adiza Bala Mohammed and all of that to put together a system where the KPIs of all of these people will be looked at and, of course, penciled down. And at the end point, the president will take a decision on it. So the president has provided opportunity for all of them. So responsibilities behoves on them to perform very well. But there's somebody there that is also watching their performance, and that's Ms. Adiza. And she's also taking notes. And at the right time, the president will take a decision on each and every one of them. But I want to believe that they are all doing their best to making sure that they give the president the right support that is needed. But in all of that, even when you have A-class students in a class, take a class of 50, and they need 10, definitely decision will be taken along those numbers. Looking at, taking it also from the point of theology, the way Christ lived and the resurrection and all of that, you will see that Christ never performed magic. He only did things in conformity to the dictates of his belief and that of his Father.
Indeed.
Right? When he turned wine to water, it wasn't magic. It was out of faith right, and to please the people? Would you have said that Jesus was lavish to have taken wine and dined, quote and unquote, like some people would say, the sinners and what have you? He was trying to prove a point. When he turned bread, few bread to multitude in order to feed the people, he also understood that if you don't feed them, if you don't make them comfortable, they won't listen to you and they won't imbibe your teachings. So he understood all of these dynamics. And when the devil came to tempt him, like the opposition attempting the president, he told them, get behind me. You understand? He still had to conform.
Comrade, I'm not sure I would liken the opposition exactly to Satan or the devil.
No, I'm not. I'm explaining things. You might not liken it, but when some people are telling you to perform magic, right? You can see the economic indices.
I see what you mean.
Even when key players in the monetary world, you understand, the regulatory system are telling you that, look, take away this, you'll feel pain for a while.
Yes.
And the president is always saying, yes, there are pains, but please bear with me.
Yes.
At the end of it, all these things become history.
Okay.
And people want you to perform magic.
In that sense. No. The Lord said that he does what his Father shows him to do. See, none of this is done of my own accord. Good morning, Reverend Dominic. Happy Easter Monday to you.
Good morning, Yori. Good morning to Ayodele, my comrade.
Comrade Adewale.
Happy Easter to you, and happy Comrade Adewale is a friend of mine. We have been talking for a long time. Happy Easter to you and all Nigerians.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yori, Nigeria can be savage, and it's so simple to savage Nigeria.
Sure.
The season we are is about sacrifice. I was on a media station where people misunderstood me. When a politician is talking about patience, I said Nigerians have been patient. What we want to see is our leaders show character, show sacrifice. Every Nigerian wants to see the best of Nigeria. But if it must happen, both the actors and non-actors must sacrifice. Everybody must put something on the table. The governance of Nigeria is not more for the president alone. Honestly, to be frank to you, this president has shown character. What is the character we're expecting from the president? Not a magician, but the one who can say, the ball ends on my table. The last government was like shying away from challenges, even to the edge. But this one said, don't pity me. I beg for this job. I work for this job. I put my money down for this job. So I want to do the best of my knowledge. That is the best spirit, which means he's ready to sacrifice whatever his comfort to make Nigeria work. But if you must do that, Yore, his ministers, his directors, everybody on the chain must sacrifice. If we don't sacrifice, it will be difficult. In Nigeria, it's easy to turn around because we have whatever it takes. If Nigeria is still standing today, Yore, I'm a pastor. I know how people are suffering. Still, they have shown character that we can live to see a better Nigeria. What we need is sacrifice from head to toe. Patience is no part of it. We are patient already. I don't have life where I am here for over 3 months.
That's right.
I'm patient, waiting one day things will get better. I'm using Gerardo to talk to you now. So it's not about patient. It's about we and the government to show sacrifice, to show Nigeria will work again. And everybody makes sacrifice towards it. And if we do it within 1 to 3 months, look at what is happening in Naira and dollar. The manufacturers are not, most of them also. You can buy a packet of a particular maybe, let me come from that some dimension. The packet is big, but what is in it is little. That is not the president. That is the manufacturer cutting corners. To buy a liter of diesel, whatever the price, it's not up to a liter. That is not Mr. President. It's a fuel station manager that cheating. Instead of giving you 1 liter, he gives you 1/4 liter. We must make this sacrifice from A to Z. Nigeria is easy to savage, especially in security area. Our soldiers are dying. They're making a sacrifice. We must make it work. That the soldier doesn't go to a peace mission in Nigeria where there's no civil war and he dies. No, they have paid. Our military have paid a spring sacrifice in this issue. We need to be patient. And everybody should be patient. I know Nigeria will be better with this government. God bless Nigeria.
Amen to that, Reverend Dominic, and thank you very much for that rousing message. In case anybody hadn't heard it before, or anybody is far too used to the celebratory aspect. You see, there's a sense in which we talked about the metaphoric ICU that Nigeria is in a very dire state. I like the way Reverend Dominic put it. Bola Ahmed Tinubu has shown character. It is now for us to emulate him. I recall him saying that, look, it's tough. Please don't be sorry for me. I begged for this job, meaning I applied for it. I applied for this job. You gave it to me. And by God, I'm going to do it with you guys behind me. Reverend Dominic has just been talking about sacrificing, the needing for, and I was speaking to that before he came on, the need for everybody to be on board. You also said that, well, the president, some measures are being taken, there are, notes are being taken and all of that. And well, they should be taken, because there's a sense in which I feel, and here, let me just go off a bit like Jide Otitoju does from time to time. He, I think that it's very, very important that people be seen to be on board. I think there's far too much celebration and church services and Thanksgiving services and all of that when people were selected for service. Not for enjoyment, not for orire, when they were selected to come and put your shoulder to the wheel. And I guess there's a sense in which Nigerians want to see a bit more of that. Let the enjoyment quotient or to be fair, it just might be a perception from outside. The people inside might know that it's a very, very urgent job that they have taken, and they can very, very rarely wear metaphoric long sleeves. All of them have to have their sleeves rolled up, because that's the kind of job that Tinubu is doing, and I imagine that he expects to be done. It can't be business as usual. Reverend Dominic has been saying that we are listening to the president. When I say we, of course I'm a part of that we, but he's also speaking for those people who are trying to make sense of this suffering that Mr. President has said, I know, I feel it, I hear it, and it's not going to be in vain. But you see, people want beyond the talk. Reverend Dominic said it. Beyond the talk, let it show. Then it'll be easier for us to sort of carry on with you. No magic. You said it first. Reverend Dominic said, nobody can expect the president to come and do magic. But it must be seen that we are in dire times. And the last thing people want to see is any form of flamboyancy, any form of that kind of a thing. They just want to see what is being done to the situation that we have on our hands. And by all accounts, Tinubu has, he's been doing a good job. I think that's what's led to Dominic saying that Tinubu has shown character. Did you say there's someone else on the... Mr. George in Ikeja. Good morning to you, sir.
Uncle Yari, good morning to the Honorable Comrade.
Yes, Honorable Ayodele Adewale. Good morning to him.
Uncle Yari, those that are bad-mouthing Nigeria, they are not Nigerians. Anybody that bad-mouths his own country cannot be a true Nigerian. You don't do what is right and expect people to just rally around you and to succeed. In the history of mankind, whenever you want to do what is right, opposition must raise its head. Uncle Yori, I, as an individual, for a long time, had known that Tinubu was sent to this country from on high to reset Nigeria. And if you want to reset a country that is in so disorganized state, you must expect this kind of hula balloon here and there. But what I am glad about is his attitude to it. He is so focused. He knows how to go about it. He knows who to hire for it. He knows how to manage opposition. The numerous arrays of opposition left and right to achieve his aim. So That is my joy in it. And I really wish that he will succeed. What I will always want to suggest is he's already doing it. Monitoring the people he gives tasks to manage for him. We have seen like 5, 6 ministers who are already, doing what we expect of them. Those that are not up to date yet must be brought up to date or changed if they have to be changed. Because it is not about individuals this time around, it's about the country. He has a maximum of 8 years to do what he has to do because he has to obey the constitution of that country. And I know that 8 years is enough for him to do it in such a way that after resetting this country, it will become almost impossible for
to take us back
to come and undo it.
Yeah.
That's the way we are going, and I'm happy about it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Happy Easter Monday to you. Comrade Ayodele Adewale, APC Organizing Secretary, on the chair this morning, Lagos State Chapter. We'll take a quick break. We'll come right back and continue with this conversation and hopefully get your Easter messages and Easter, ideas on our country. Okay, welcome back. And we're looking at the president's message of hope, and in particular, renewed hope around this Easter. Wale in Houston, Texas, has called in. Good morning, Wale. Thank you for calling in. Thank you.
Yeah, Uncle Yori, I called this morning to give kudos to your two first callers. They've spoken so well. I watched a program this morning, and I heard a pastor condemning what the president has said about the Easter message, saying the president don't have the right to teach them or tell them what to preach to the audience, what to preach to the Nigerians. Hello?
I can hear you, Wale. Please continue.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So, saying, because the president is telling them to say good, to preach good about Nigerians to their audience. And the pastor was saying this morning, this is the pastor or apostle or whatever I'm calling, saying the president don't have the right to tell them what to do, what to say, what to preach, how to do their job. But that's aside. What I want to say, like your two callers have called and said, is the body language of the president is speaking very good of him. That tells you this is a man that is willing to do something. If he's going there to lie to Nigerians, he will be romancing them and doing what will please Nigeria. This is a man with the character. He knows for you to respect Nigeria, you have to go all the way back, the hardship. But what can the president to do now is to balance all the market sellers. Because the dollar is going down now. They were complaining it's the dollar that makes the price of the food, of the commodities to go up. Now that it's going down, the president needs to checkmate them. Because the Nigerians have that problem. When the price of commodities goes up, it never comes down.
Yeah.
If the president can put a force in the market, I think everything will be good. And I thank you very much for the good job you're doing, Yori.
Thank you.
Can't thank you enough.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate you, Wale. That's very kind of you. Well, indeed, you heard it there. I didn't catch the particular program he's talking about, but the president has said it, and he has said it. That's what he said. Don't curse Nigeria. Don't badmouth Nigeria. Don't preach against Nigeria. Well, if some men of the cloth feel, you see, again, the president is a Democrat. So he will say what he has said, which is to give us all hope. And if somebody feels that, well, they don't think he has a right to speak about that, so be it. People will look at the situation and take what they will from it. The president doesn't want Nigeria badmouths. He doesn't want people to curse Nigeria. sometimes we play too much. We as Nigerians, we joke too much. And I think the president realizes that because we say things that we don't even mean in our heart. Because you can't be a national, you can't be a Nigerian national and be saying some of the things people say. But any Nigerian will know, we know among ourselves that he doesn't mean it. That's how we're just talking. We're just talking carelessly. Well, the president is saying, maybe I'm not exactly a preacher. Can we get a bit more spiritual in our talk? Don't be cursing Nigeria. Wish it well. Because we certainly are going to be doing everything that we can, I imagine, is his mindset. And so you people out there, let your words conform with that whole aspiration that I'm sure you yourself have. How can somebody be bad-mouthing Nigeria now and you want it to be better for Nigeria? I don't think that the president was saying anything different from that. But that is without prejudice to the right of the men of the cloth who are reported to have taken exception at the president asking men at pulpits to please say a good word for Nigeria, about Nigeria. There is much that is wrong with us. Do we still need to continue at the pulpit to be talking about those ones?
Well, you must understand that some people speak from the standpoint of anger, right? And some also speak from the viewpoint of flesh. When you are in custody of the pulpit, in custody of faith, you should speak from the standpoint of the doctrine of your belief, not what you want to say, right? You are only amplifying what your belief stands for.
Yes, sir. But I don't even want us to let it not seem that we are having a program on what this man of the cloth or that one said. No, let's just leave it. The president has said his own. They have said his own. The men of the cloth who spoke have said their own. The president is not going to engage. He's not going to engage in words. I don't see what the president has done that is wrong. Don't preach against Nigeria. End of story. Good morning, Ada in Jos.
You're getting for too long. Good morning to Commander Ayodele. Ada calling from Jos Party. Happy New Month and Easter Monday.
Happy Easter Monday.
Yes, I've listened to the whole conversation. I think the problem with Nigeria is we don't have God in the center of whatever we are doing.
Okay.
The full message of Easter, the focus there is on love. And it's about sacrificial love. And then it's not a self-centered kind of love. Or a love that is centered around the political affiliation or whatever. It's about humanity. If we look at it from that point of view, there will be equity, justice, and fair play, and that will help to reset Nigeria. So if you ask me, we need spiritual rearmament, to rekindle our family values. The family system, the values, it has broken down. That's what has led to all these insurgencies, right, left, and center. You just have to get back to that. So whether the people of the people, whether you like to hear that or not, because they just have to, So all this idea of breathing only prosperity and not laying emphasis on the family values, it should stop. That is why we're having issues. It has got to a point that Easter celebration or maybe Salah celebration, at a point it has become a kind of ritual. Each time it comes, we talk about the same thing. What progress have we made? What are the indices? And the part of the government, we have to look for policies that will give people that renewed hope. Ayodele. What is happening in Niger Delta? We knew how are we going to have that hope? Many presidents have sent people there, their military, to go there and make sure they stop the oil theft. That place is highly militarized, both by private and both by the government one. Yet the theft is continuing to the extent that we now have to resort to importing crude from America. What are we talking about? I'm not talking about importing refined oil. This one is crude now. That's why it's getting to. That is because we're not even committed. We're not patriotic as a people. It's really unfortunate the way we are going. Let's not get for Nigeria. It will get better.
Thank you very much, Ada. Thank you very much. God bless you. It's not a word that you'll hear from me. I'm not a man of the cloth, but I was so happy with your message, and it is in the spirit. So maybe you'll excuse me and forgive that one time when I've said that on air. But I really feel like saying that to Ada because she used an expression, spiritual rearmament. We need spiritual rearmament. Ada said it. She's a Nigerian. We've spoken with a reverend this morning. indeed he was saying the same thing using different words. And men and women of the pulpit are saying it up and down, that we need a changed mind. I suppose that's what's spiritual armor. In fact, one respected man of the cloth from years back used to speak about a national spiritual rebirth was what Nigeria needs. And it's all about, Ada was talking there about, it's about love in this season, it's about renewed hope, and that is what the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was seeking to put across when he was appealing to both Nigerians and even those who are able to stand at the pulpit. Please, cut Nigeria some slack, Cut Nigeria some slack.
Can I be allowed to give you
yes, sir.
2 examples in the Bible?
Sure.
One was Moses.
Okay, so you're going to get churchy. I think it's allowed on Easter Monday. Get a bit churchy.
I'm not judging anybody. Just
church, as in church.
Oh, fine, I'm a Christian.
Yes.
2 examples in the Bible, and 1 example in recent time, and 1 in Nigeria that just passed. Now, the 2 examples in the Bible, if you have read about when Moses led the children of Israel out of Egypt, and they got to the mount, and all of that,
mm-hmm.
and after the tablet was given to him, mm-hmm. the laws were given by God, and he got angry and did some certain things. Of course, we know the consequences and all of that. I won't say beyond that. We know the consequences. Yeah. So men of God should also read part of that. Now, the second one is to Elijah, when he also did some actions, carried out some actions that was not in tandem with how God would have wanted it. Of course, there were consequences. Indeed. And all of that. Indeed. So men of God must also read about that.
We need to.
So that we don't get carried away by issues. Then look at the Pope. Look at the Pope recently. From the message of the Pope, he did not chastise or blacklist the warring faction, Palestine, Israel, and what have you. What he's calling is for peace all across the world. In Nigeria, the president has done something that's very noble. We have presidents in the past that looked the other way when similar thing happened, and the whole community was almost wiped out.
Indeed.
But when this happened, the president stood firm, 1, by the Constitution, 2, to pacify everybody, and to also say that don't carry out actions out of normalcy, right? That don't go punishing people who have committed no wrong.
Indeed.
But let's focus on what had happened.
Being a leader. Professor Edmund in Enugu, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Yuri.
Thank you for calling in.
My pleasure.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. Your speaker, we are, the man there is still talking.
No. You have the floor now.
Yes, it's okay. I'm following you right now.
Well,
you said in response to the president's
plea
message,
yes,
and the issue of in response to the president's Easter message and the renewed hope agenda, coming from the background of somebody in the academia, we all know that for this country to be in the place it ought to be, education has to be in the forefront.
Okay.
Education has to be the forefront of our development and industrialization. But a situation where professors and lecturers are continuing saying it are being owed 4.5 months. I wonder what hope is going to renew. He himself, the president, he has to sacrifice. He has to sacrifice. He has to renew the hope of the academia. Again, you cannot expect a responsible citizenry in an irresponsible governance system. So, this issue of renewed hope is a very beautiful idea. But that renewed hope must have to come from the center.
Okay.
The center must have to show sacrifice before it trickles down the lower ladder. So I'm still saying, lecturers' salary, retail salary, lecturers in federal universities, their salaries have to be paid. Indeed. I said it some time ago, last week.
Yes, you did.
The last pay rise I got as a professor was in 2008. Up to this moment, I'm still receiving the same salary I received some 14, 15, 16 years ago. Then what hope are we really? So this is my point of view.
Thank you very much, Professor. Appreciate you, Professor Edmund, for calling in again and throwing that into the pot. What we're talking about. There's so many reforms that are necessary, and I suppose they're going about it. But look, the professor just spoke there. Did he say 14, 15 years ago, the last time? Same salary since then. These things happen. The professor, you can't add to what he has said. He was so, clear. There are areas that need to be addressed in our society. So once again, Professor Edmund, we thank you for your service, to the nation, and, the needful will be done. Let it not be too late. That's the important thing. Okay, we're on the happy, topic of Easter Monday, where Christ is risen. It's a message of love, Ada said it. But I go back to Ada's spiritual rearmament. In other words, we need to stop thinking the way we are thinking out of our body and out of our flesh. And become, I think it's just big grammar. Spiritual rearmament is just big grammar for, stop thinking about ourselves and think, the way the Lord taught us to think. Think about love your neighbor, love the other guy as like yourself. Do not do unto others what you don't want them to do unto you. And those very, very simple principles, by the time you sit down, you can meditate on each one of them for more than 20 hours. And if you do so, perhaps we'll arrive at, you don't even need to go all that way before you can take Ada's advice that Nigeria, and not just Ada, also the president, that Nigeria should be in for a round of spiritual rearmament and begin to look at things, in the right way. And that's the renewed hope that the president is saying that we have to focus on, we have to concentrate on. There might be small, scant evidence of it now, but I think it was you who said it, or was it George or somebody, that the president is focused. He's focused on this, renewed hope idea. Others called it a spiritual rearmament. Somebody else called it a national spiritual rebirth. I guess what we need to just do is just say we're very happy to be alive, to witness the 2024 Easter Monday, and look at all the hope that is on the ground. You need just very little imagination to see that from what Tinubu and his administration are doing, you could extrapolate that and be prayerful and see that Nigeria will indeed turn the corner.
Well, there's nothing wrong in self-evaluation. Time in, time out, we need to evaluate ourselves, evaluate our character and our workings. If truly it will better the lot of everyone. Yeah. And if not, then you have to think of a better way, you understand, to reignite your workings and make it very proper in order to benefit everyone and sundry. And that takes us to love thy neighbor as thyself. You talk about people just arbitrarily increasing price. Yes, we know that when the dollar was...
Yeah, thank you, Wale in Houston, Texas, for bringing that up.
Yeah.
He brought that whole idea up.
Yeah. Yes, we know...
That price shoot up. Now that things are getting better, are people doing the right thing and bringing prices down?
You must understand the economic reality. If you bought this phone, say at $100, right, in value, and the dollar rate has moved down to about 50, but you have to take that off your shelf, so it will take time to move it out and restock. But the major thing is those who are involved in this market activity must also understand that they live in the same society.
Indeed.
So don't take advantage of others because you want to have some gains.
So selflessness.
Selflessness must come in.
I beg your pardon, sir. Let me take Jocelyn, if I got that name right. Jocelyn, did I get it right? Is it Jocelyn in Jos? Oh, Jocelyn. Jocelyn? Hello, Jocelyn?
Jocelyn, yes.
Oh.
Jocelyn in Jos.
Okay. Good morning to you. Jocelyn. Okay, go right ahead, please. Quickly. You have about 1 minute, sir, because we've run out of time. Go ahead, please. Go ahead if you can hear us. Okay, I knew there was something wrong with that line. So sorry about that, Jocelyn. We've almost run out of time. Even if you had been able to speak, we wouldn't have. There wouldn't have been time for more than maybe 60 seconds for you to have said your piece. But so, Jocelyn, we couldn't speak to you, but we do wish you a happy Easter Monday. And we've come to the end of it. And I think where we've sort of ended it, coming back to selflessness, which is what everybody has been preaching. The president has been leading there. In addition to selflessness, the president has also said, maybe, and I'm going to borrow from Ada here, spiritually rearm ourselves so that we don't curse Nigeria out. So thank you very much to Reverend Dominic as well. Thank you very much to Mr. George in Ikeja, everybody contributing on this whole idea of you just have to look forward. You said the president has been focused on his idea of renewed hope, and let us all be focused as well now, because it's the good thing the president is wanting. So I want to thank you to Comrade Ayodele Adewale for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. So a happy Easter Monday. I said it at the beginning. I'm delighted to say it again. Do join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folaren. Bye-bye for now.